Okay, what's going on, LBHT crew B? What is going on?
People out here just telling lies, man.
Lies. everywhere, yes. On the Ravens side and the Panthers side. Okay, you got Matt Rhule over there saying, "Hey, what my fault? I don't make any picks. Who said I make picks? I don't make picks, right?" There's no quarterback available. Oh, well, there was a field.
Aside from the several quarterbacks who are available.
We are going to get on Matt Rhule and his shade that he's been on a media tour. This is a media themed episode. And Matt Rhule has been on a media tour explaining why his failed time with the Panthers wasn't his fault. So we're definitely going to discuss that. Obviously, you see the thumbnail, Lamar with his ongoing war with the media, the latest attempt to slander him, literally by Jameson Hemsley. Okay, that's level 1. That's tier 1 of the gatekeepers. All right, that's tier 1 of these people right here. Them. Okay, he was out there trying to slander our guy because he had to deal with the troll online. All right, we're going to discuss that in detail. Greg Roman possibly on a move. Oh, yeah. So, all right, look, there's a lot to discuss. And breaking news, Lamar. Speaking of Lamar, injury at practice could be nothing, could be something. All right, we got a little, we got a little information on that. So, yes, let's give a couple of shout outs before we start the show. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. So make sure you hit that like button, all those places, wherever you're watching. Also, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you are listening to this podcast, it is Thursday at lunchtime. So hope your lunch is going well. All right, let's give a shout out to the chat. We got Kimberly was in here early. She said she was first. Yes, I told her what's up. Thanks for coming through. All right, Brandon is in the house. What's up, Brandon? Brandon Basil. Shout out to you. MJ's in the house. Says this is gonna be a good one. Been waiting on this all week. Man.
Don't get your expectations up. That's how you get disappointed.
Yeah. Hashtag lower expectations. Okay, you're a Ravens fan. You should already understand this. Our guy Nitro from the Wonderkin Show. Make sure you go over to our guy Nitro's channel, the Wonderkin Show, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Says, hey everybody, let's get it. Says, hopefully y'all bring up that Lamar should have had a Jackson 6 on Sunday, but all his receivers have nubs for fingers. Ooh, yeah, yes, we will discuss that. Our guy Hendo's in the house from Ravens Online on Gatekeepers. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. Excuse me. Says, LBHT is in the house. It is the best time of the week. Appreciate you coming through. Tracy's in the house. What's up, Tracy? Tracy says, gentlemen, there's lots to talk about. Can't wait. Oh, indeed, yes. Indeed. John Hazeb Ali's in the house. Says, what's up, my fellow heartbroken Ravens fans? What's up? Says, defund EDC. Oh, we're going to talk about it. Andre Mears, our guy Andre Mears. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. King 95 is in the house. Said, what's good? What's good with you, King 95? Danity is here. Says, it's Shamar Bridges to the rescue. Hey, y'all. Yeah,
you don't even like the Ravens,
yeah. Just Aloe's in the house. Says, hello, everyone. Hello, LBHT crew. To the best hosts in town. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Our cousin Davon says, hashtag super duper fan. Hashtag LBHT crew. Indeed. Yolanda B. Shout out to Yolanda B. Thanks for coming through. Says, good evening, LBHT family. This should be a fun one. Oh, yes. We plan to have fun. Our guy, Raven Ron in the house says, what up, LBHT? Lamar has thrown 7 passing touchdowns in the last 8 games. This is a problem. Yes. Hey, we're going to get to all of that. Shout out to Jake P. Thanks for coming through. Zeke Hokage. Top 3 dopest names in Twitter and YouTube everywhere. Okay. Zeke Hokage. He's on that list. All right. Yes. Yolanda said, she's saying, what's up to Kimberly? Yes. D Weezy's in the house. Says, watch out, LBHT. It's the super fans. Yes. I know it. We're always battling them. Lamar has to battle them. Okay. We're going to discuss it. All right. MDT Sports is in the house. Willie Seabon. I'm going to go quick here because we got to get this show started. Big Reg is in the house. Thanks for coming through.
What's up,
DDSQUE. What's going on? One Sessions is in the house. Yes. Ravens for Life 116. We see you. And our brother, Mr. OTR Mike from Open Mic with OTR Mike says, I think I seen Andy Isabel today. Psych. What's up, fellas? What's up with
What's
you,
up,
man?
Mike?
Agent E, thank you for coming through. All right. Look, we got a lot to discuss. What's up, C Dubster? I see you two in here, man. All right. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B has a Black History fact for you.
Yeah, so like I said, make it a little quick. We got a lot to get to. We want to talk a little bit about a Baltimore legend, Mother Mary Elizabeth Lang. I don't know how many of you in the chat have heard of her. She was born in Santiago de Cuba in 1789 or around 1789. They're not really 100% sure there. Her family fled Haiti during the revolution. And so, she very early on, they moved from Santiago de Cuba to the U.S. She stopped off in Charleston and, one or two other places before settling in Baltimore. They said she got a very good education down in Cuba before coming to the U.S., right? And, it came here in the early 1800s and opened a school in her home for Black children in her home near Fells Point. Because she knows that there weren't a lot of schools that were catering to the Black youth in Baltimore, even though there was a large population of freed Black people in the city. A lot of people came from the Caribbean, came from Haiti after the revolution, and there weren't enough schools. So she opened up her own in the early 1800s. Then a little bit later on, she met this priest, James Nicholas Joubert, and together they founded what's called the Oblate Sisters of Providence, which was the first religious congregation of women of African descent in the U.S. So essentially like a convent, because Mary Elizabeth Lang was Catholic. So they opened up this convent. They kind of turned that into a school as well. They had a lot of students come in. It turned into what is now known as St. Francis Academy, which is still open and operating in Baltimore today. Excuse me. The school also, in addition to teaching Black girls, because they kind of turned it into a girls' school at that point. In addition to that, they were also teaching women. They had classes for women at night. They were giving vocational and career training there as well. And they were establishing homes for widows and orphans, through the convent as well. So it's just, she's a person who came into Baltimore and was doing a lot for the Black community there. They opened up a school in her name last year in August, the Mother Mary Lang Catholic School. It was the first Catholic school to be opened in about 60 years in Baltimore. She passed away in 1882 in Baltimore City. She's buried in the chapel at Our Lady of Mount Providence. And a long time after her passing, I believe it was in 1991, they started a movement to have her canonized in the Catholic religion to become a saint. So that's a long process, right? They had to do a whole investigation into her life and send that off to the Vatican. It's still ongoing at this point, but they say it's kind of on track. So Baltimore may have their very own saint coming soon. But just a little info on Mother Mary Elizabeth Lang, who did a lot of outstanding work in the community right there in Baltimore. And I believe you're muted.
My bad. I said, how about that? Baltimore's very own saint. Mm-hmm. That's a fact for you right there. Yes. All right. Look, they're ready, B. They're ready. They are so ready. They don't even know where they want to start. They don't know if they want to start with the Lamar disrespect or if they want to start with Greg Roman possibly getting up out of here. All right. They are all over the place, but we will guide you. We will start with Lamar. Okay. Look, Lamar versus media is something that we just. This is something that it's an ongoing battle with Lamar and the media, especially the local media. You think it's the national media, but it's really the local media because, again, level one gatekeepers. If you don't know what we mean by gatekeepers, we have different levels. Okay, level one is employees of the Ravens, people that work directly for the Ravens, or media that works very close with the Ravens, right?
Mhm.
These aren't all bad people. In fact, I would say most of them, I wouldn't say they're bad people, but I wouldn't say they all have bad intentions. I think Jess Rabick is he tries to stay as neutral as possible. Right? Nobody can stay that neutral, right? He's gonna write more favorably for the Ravens because he wants to maintain that relationship. But I don't see Jess Rabick going out there doing any hit pieces either, right?
Mhm.
Ryan Mink, we've talked about Ryan Mink before. Ryan Mink works for the Ravens. Okay. So if he puts something out there, it does not matter what he says or what they tell you. He is doing what he is told. He's not going to put anything out there that's not Ravens approved. That is his job. That's who writes his checks. So expect that kind of slant from where he writes or discusses. Right now, Jameson Hemsley he works for ESPN. He's their Ravens beat writer, and he's another one. This isn't the first time he's been reckless with writing or discussing Ravens players. He did the same thing to Matt Judon, and Matt Judon even said something to that effect. And shout out to Zion for a $1 donation. What did that say, B?
It says defund the defense. It starts with Eric and John.
Yep. Right on the money, and I appreciate the donation.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So Jameson Hemsley decided he wanted to interpret what Lamar was saying. I thought what Lamar said was pretty straightforward. I think all you guys have seen the tweet by now. Well, it's been taken down, but somebody was trying to troll Lamar. He purposely mentioned Lamar in the tweet and basically said he wasn't worth the $250 million.
And had been tweeting at him all day. Right?
Yeah.
It wasn't just, one tweet and Lamar just snapped on the dude.
Yeah. So Lamar put him in his place, and he used some not so friendly words, some non-approved, non-media approved language, if you will, and they clutched their pearls because Lamar Jackson cussed, right? He said a curse word, and somehow that curse word manifested itself into being anti-gay, right? And somebody like Jameson Hemsley, who is older than us, we'll say that, okay? Older than us. He's been around for a while. He's heard it all. I think he understands enough, right? This isn't like what he said wasn't like a young person thing. Like this is something that he's heard it before, so he understands. Lamar is just throwing a shot back at the dude, right? There is no other intention there. There's no other meaning behind it, but he started that little fire, and the rest of the ESPN media picked up on that, and they were trying to pile on Lamar. But over here, okay, right here, East and West Baltimore, okay, the Black Butterfly, they weren't trying to hear it, okay, and other fans they were not trying to hear it. They shut that down, okay. So much so, Jameson Hemsley had to mute his comments. Right? They were saying, look, Lamar should sue you for your slander. And Lamar is like, this is defamation, Jameson.
And then he wanted to tweet about other things, Jameson.
He's like, let me talk about something else. Let me just talk about something else. So that's the first thing. The other thing I want to talk about, you see Mike Vick in the thumbnail, and you're wondering what's Mike Vick doing there. Shout out to D Weezy for the donation. Appreciate it. It says Lamar said, "Get on that Johnson diet." Yes. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Thank you, D Weezy. Mike Vick. I don't want to get on Mike Vick too much. I like Mike Vick. I don't think there was ill intent there, but like B said before we started, Mike Vick is always on the side of the establishment, right? Yeah. And I think that goes to, the trouble that he got into and him just wanting to kind of clean up his image and never wanting to be criticized in that way again. Just, really had the media have his back, which they've had. But, he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and they're talking about his contract. And Shannon Sharp is a big proponent of Lamar getting every last penny he can possibly get.
Right.
And Mike Vick said, hey, look, I hear you. I understand that. But when you get that kind of contract, a team can't afford to put weapons around you. There's no money for anybody else. And I just don't, I think he should get the money, but he shouldn't take all the money. He shouldn't max out on that. Save some money so other players can get paid. And I think that's just a tired, played out cliche. Yeah. Right. I talk about the book of cliches. You see me sometimes dusting off my invisible book of cliches. Let's see. If you pay one player, there's not enough for anybody else. That's totally false.
Right.
That's totally false. And it's also not Lamar's problem. And they already shown that they're not willing to get Lamar any weapons. So if Lamar's not going to get any weapons, who cares who gets the money?
It's such a ridiculous thing to say. Like, yeah. and you hear, certain fans and some people in the media, and, obviously now we're talking about Vic, kind of going with that angle. Oh, well, how are they going to pay anybody else? Hey, how can they afford to bring Roquan back? How can they go and get wide receivers and O-line help if they have to guarantee Lamar all this money? Lamar was the 32nd pick in the draft. He wasn't making anything for the first 4 years of his career, and you did absolutely nothing. With the money that you had, which you saved from not having to pay an elite quarterback money. But now, when it comes time to actually pay up, and he's saying, well, you don't spend the money anyway, so give me my money. Now, all of a sudden, it's, well, how are we going to go and get you a DeAndre Hopkins and a Justin Jefferson? You weren't going to anyway. You don't believe in that. You don't believe in throwing the ball. You don't believe that talent matters. You signed Shamar goddamn Bridges today.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah. Well, we want to talk about that as well, because to me that's everything they're doing is just straight up disrespectful.
That was just and I said in the Discord, that was for those of you who thought we would be in on Odell. Yes, here's Shamar Bridges,
because the timing of this is every time it's twofold, right? It's hey, we hear the fans and they know that they have an issue there. So they go and get somebody, but it's somebody that we want. It's not going to be who you say we should get. We're going to get our guy, and we're going to go against what you think we should do, right? It's to spite us, and it's to spite Lamar. Like, nobody's going to tell us what we need to do, but they recognize there is a problem, right? You didn't just sign Lamar Business for nothing.
Who wasn't good enough to beat out the garbage receivers you have on the team right now,
right?
You didn't want him. You didn't keep him,
right?
Yeah. And now 12 weeks later, he's the answer. He's the solution. What sense does that make, right? But again, they don't spend the money on the O-line. I mean, even if you look at Kevin Zeitler was an old player who got cut, who wasn't going to affect the comp picks, who wasn't the best guard available, but he was a good player who was, coming towards the end of his career, who wasn't going to break the bank, and they didn't have to go after the top O-lineman available, right. And you don't ever see them going out and just trying to get that top tier talent to put around their top tier quarterback. It's not what they believe. It's not their philosophy. And so why should Lamar care about whether or not you have money left over after you pay him?
Exactly. And shout out to our guy Hendo for a $10 donation. Appreciate it, Hendo. Says they gave Lamar absolutely nothing while on that rookie deal. Facts. And real quick, if you guys are wondering how Microphone Man is raising his fist like that every time somebody donates, you're trying to get on that train. Okay, that's how we do our super chat here. There are two ways we do a super chat. One is right below B, $ LBHT Show. That is a Cash App. The other is that pin link that you see in the comment. Okay, in the chat box. Both ways, you just go there, you leave your donation, leave your comment, and Microphone Man will salute you with the raised fist. All right. And shout out to 100 people that are in here watching us live. Appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And shout out to the people that are liking us on Facebook. I see you, E Bigby. Our guy, Brian DJ Boone. He's got a, what's the name of his new show? It used to be Smoke Break Live. You changed the name of the show. I think it's the Nempathy Show. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. Put it in the chat. Yes. But yeah, go check them out. And we got another donation from George Pickens. He's back. B, did he spell his name right this time? He says, he said, just remember, Ravens fans, you could have had NFL young boy. See ya in a couple of weeks. Appreciate you, George. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's fix this real quick. And Ben H just donated. Oh, thank you, Ben H. I appreciate it. What's that say, B?
This says, peace, my brothers. Thank you for the content.
Thank you. Hey, thank you. Much appreciated. I want to give a quick shout out too before we continue. Main Els subscribed just a day ago. Tommy, I can't pronounce your last name. Ibikunle. Thank you for subscribing. Excuse me. I know some of you guys came from Coach's Stream because we stream live every Monday on the Ravens Roundtable on Sip2 Tally Films. So if you want to see more of us, that's where you can find us every Monday, right? All right. So we'll read a couple comments here. Keelan, what's going on, Keelan? He says, and what championship level teammates will Lamar be keeping with a supposed discount? Yes, this is really a team that will be picking for Stroud if Lamar wasn't here, not a real contender. Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. That's facts. MJ says, stop overpaying players who just simply don't exist. Yep. Davon says, we hit him with an injury settlement and then called him back. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shamar Bridges. Yep, absolutely. Danny says, the nerve to talk about overpaying Lamar, but comfortable overpaying Nick Boyle, who is stealing money right now.
There's a lot of players in Baltimore stealing money right now.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, Raven. Thank you for the donation. Says EDC. He says EDC. Hold on. There we go. EDC's trying to turn Goodwill clothes into Versace with these 35-year-old has-been wide receivers and practice squad wide receivers. Yeah, what they're trying to do, I don't respect at all. Right? With a better coach, I could respect it a little bit more. But again, I said it on Coach's Stream. You have a coach that thinks he is Bill Belichick, right? Mm-hmm. And I've always said that he is Mike McCarthy, and I have to apologize to Mike McCarthy because he is not on Mike McCarthy's level, right? So to get these guys that don't have talent or enough talent, right? I don't want to disrespect anybody. They don't have enough talent, and think they will be just as productive as the superstars in this league. Yeah, is a joke, right? And it's an insult to our intelligence as fans. It's an insult to Lamar, who's out there sacrificing his body. We'll talk about his injury in a minute. Sacrificing his body for this team, and you just refuse to get any help on that side of the ball. Meanwhile, the defense, if there's any little hiccup, hey, we got to make a move. We got to do something.
Got to shore that up.
You got to shore that up.
Because I guarantee you, they're not going to re-sign Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters is he looks like he's past it, right? And he says he's kind of still coming back from that ACL tear and everything, but I don't think that they will bring him back, at least not in that same role. And you're going to see them use that first round pick on a corner, and just they're going to try and keep the defense strong, and they're going to let go of Chuck Clark after this season. And guess what? They're going to draft a safety on day 2. Right, because you have to have the absolute best at every position on defense. You have to have depth at every position on defense. Otherwise, how can you blow leads effectively?
Yeah. Hey, shout out to, we got a Panthers fan in the house. Real is real. NC says hashtag keep pounding. CPL4L or CP4L. Matt Rhule just wasn't ready for the NFL. Period. You're right. We're gonna talk about Matt Rhule later on in the show. He was ready for that money. He was ready to shift blame. He was ready to do everything but actually coach, be an NFL.
And I don't blame him. When they offer the check, you take the check.
Yeah. We'll get to that segment.
You can't turn down that kind of money. You can't.
What's up, Sterling? No, you can't. I put that on David Tepper. And shout out to Suge for the donation. It says Lamar came to Pittsburgh. We treat black QBs much better. He said, come to Pittsburgh. We treat black QBs much better. How are Ravens fans blaming Lamar? Let's see. Cut off. He wasn't even on the field to lose a game. Yeah. Shaking my head. Shame on Ravens fans. You treat black quarterbacks much better? Didn't you have Ben Roethlisberger for the last 20 years?
Yeah, but they also had a number of black quarterbacks.
So the Ravens, just not starting.
And they treated them all poorly because they don't get them anything.
Who got paid for in Pittsburgh? What black quarterback got paid in Pittsburgh?
He said treated, not paid.
Tyrod Taylor loved this time in Baltimore. Okay. Shout out to Corey for a donation. Says Derek Carr got paid, yet they paid Adams. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And there's more to that message. Hang on just a moment.
Okay. There's a second half to that message. I'm gonna read some of these comments as well. It says this JP says this Broncos game reminds me of the season when the Ravens played the winless Dolphins in the Billick era and gave them their only win. That's what got Billick fired. And Corey says Waller and Renfro, but the Ravens can't. Yeah.
They also paid Max Crosby $25 million a year, and then brought in Chandler Jones as well. The money is there if you want to make it work. But Baltimore's lazy. That's the other part, right? They don't believe in surrounding their quarterback with talent. They don't believe in scoring points. They don't believe in modern football, and they're also too lazy to do their job. They don't believe in trying to manipulate the cap, which 31 other teams do more effectively than them.
Facts. They are lazy. Marco G says when people bring up Lamar's playoff record, they don't realize he has more playoff appearances and wins than 2/3 of the QBs in the league with dead last ranked wide receivers. Absolutely. Look, Justin Herbert was somebody who was ranked on everybody's top 5 quarterbacks, right? He hadn't made the playoffs yet. He's probably not going to make the playoffs this year, for being honest. If we're being honest, I don't think they make it. I do not think they make it.
They've got a good shot.
They have a shot. They're not out of it. I don't think they make it, B. And if they don't make it, you're talking about a quarterback who will probably get an extension this offseason, a huge one, because they have all the faith in him. They should. He is very good, right? But no playoff appearance, none. What's up? Xavier Smith says, true Ravens flat out don't believe in Lamar. Yep. When he leaves, they will spin the narrative that he was becoming a cancer. There's no way they can. I mean, they'll try to. They'll try.
They've already started to try that. That's why they put that out through Skip. Whoever his source in the building was, that he's not the same guy that he's been for the past few years, and he's not as engaged. And listen, they'll start playing those clips of Lamar screaming at players. They'll play that clip of him punting the ball. They'll play that clip of him, clapping furiously and stomping his feet, trying to get the snap, and then just being frustrated after the play. They'll put all that stuff back out, and maybe we're better off without him.
Yeah. Raven C, what's going on? Make sure you subscribe to Raven C as well. There's a lot of Ravens YouTubers in here that you need to be supporting. If you like our content, support them as well. All right. Raven C says rumors out here in Texas, OBJ wants $25 million a year. Pay it. All right. Listen, man. At this point, you can't be picky with it, right? Pay it. Shout out to Suge for the donation. Hey, appreciate y'all donating, man. For real. Thank you so much. He says also hashtag hanging with Hendo. Yes, Hendo from Ravens Online Ungatekeepers is in the house. So another person you should follow. Also, Suge. I didn't mention the Suge's channel. He's a Steelers fan. Just want to warn you. He's a Steelers, but he likes the Ravens. Steelers fan. Suge Knight 323 is where you can find him. All right. And shout out to Emphasis. Emphasis says people really think Lamar is dumb enough to fall for this bait and switch. There's no point of committing to a team that refuses to help you. Absolutely. There is no way at this point that the Ravens can win. Okay. No. They are blinded by ego at this point. There is no way they can win other than paying him. Right. That's the only way they can win. And to them, that's losing. Right. Yeah. But that's the only way. They either have to franchise him and pay him, or franchise him and trade him. And he's going to get traded exactly where he wants to go. He has total control. Nobody's going to give us anything for a player that's not going to sign a long-term deal with them. So you try to send him someplace he doesn't want to go. He'll say, cool, I'm not signing a deal there. I'm not signing a contract there. And they're like, oh, okay,
they won't be able to do it anyway, because they'll franchise him, and he'll say, when you work out a deal with the Jets or the Dolphins or the Falcons, whoever it is, then I'll sign the franchise tender. They won't even have the opportunity to trade him somewhere he doesn't want to go.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point, because once he gets tagged, he has until I think like week 6 of the NFL season to sign that tender. Yeah. So he doesn't have to rush to do it. and all the pressure is on the Ravens because that's about $45 million. You talking about not having the money now, when he's $20 million against the cap or $23 million against the cap. What happens when he's $45 million against the cap and there's no way to move that money?
Yeah. And our guy Buck, shout out to you, Buck. Thank you. He just sent us a tweet that we're gonna have to talk about on the OT. Patrick Peterson, the corner in Minnesota, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals, had an interesting quote about the current Arizona Cardinals starting quarterback, Kyler Murray. He says, Kyler Murray doesn't care about anybody but Kyler Murray. He said that on the All Things Covered podcast, and Kyler Murray responded. He said, "This isn't true. You on some weird stuff, Patrick. You got my number. If you really felt like this as a big bro or mentor, you supposed to call me and tell me, not drag me so your podcast can grow."
Oh, I like that from Kyler, right? Stand up, defend yourself, because if Russell Wilson, that's Russell Wilson. He's just like, you know what? I love Jesus, right?
Well, let's say he got no problem. Let's ride.
Jesus loves me. That's all that matters, Like, he never addresses issues that former teammates ever bring up with them. It's just,
because for what? Russ is winning.
Russ is all the way winning.
Russ stay winning. Now the Broncos might be losing.
I am a big fan.
The Seahawks might have been losing his last couple of years there, but Russell doesn't lose.
I'm a big fan of this version of Russell Wilson. Huge fan of this version of Russell Wilson. And you're saying why? He's washed. Yes. He is the first black quarterback to successfully fleece an NFL team. Right. I know we talked about Jamarcus Russell. Jamarcus Russell got drafted. That was just
he was just a bust.
Yeah. Russ Wilson, he got the bag, and he's just like, now I'm done. I can't
believe my man showed up day one and said, "Let's ride to the owner's office and give me my money."
Yes.
And they said, "You want to go to practice first?" He's like, "Definitely not."
Mr. Sierra, living legend, what's going on? He said, "Let Russ burn."
Oh, man.
He said, okay, let's ride. That's what Mikey said. All right, okay, listen. We didn't even get to Great Roman yet. Let's talk about some Great Roman.
Yes.
All right. So
good news for Greg, man.
Yeah.
Happy for him.
It's bittersweet, right? It's very sweet with a slight of bitterness. It's, if this is true. So the rumors are, well, it's not even a rumor. They confirmed it today that Stanford reached out to talk to Greg Roman for the vacant head coaching job that what's his name, David Shaw, left. Yeah. That surprised me, by the way. David Shaw was an excellent coach.
He was at one point, but it's been going bad there for a while, and he has a little integrity. He said, "I'm gonna quit."
Yeah.
Or maybe something else. I don't know, but he quit.
Yeah, he's somebody I always thought would end up in the NFL, but he was just committed to Stanford.
Yeah.
And look, that's commendable. But yes, that's open for whatever reason. They said, "Hey, Greg Roman is an excellent candidate we should talk to." So so that is something that it looks like it's a very strong possibility that could be the case, and we will see Greg Roman gone. That's the sweet part. The bittersweet part is it takes him getting another job for us to get rid of him, right? Not us kicking him out the door. And that just tells me that they have no intentions of changing anything once he leaves.
He's going to accept that job, and he's going to go home. He's going to pack his bags, and he's going to open his door, heading out to his car, getting ready to go to the airport. And John Harbaugh is going to be out in his driveway on his knees with flowers, talking about, "I'll match whatever they offered you. Just come on home. Just come back."
I'm not sure how much he gets paid now. I know he's the highest paid offensive coordinator, or one of the highest paid coordinators in the league. So how much more is this Stanford job going to pay?
Look, they'll pay him a lot more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
College coaches make a ton of money.
They do.
A ton of money. And I don't even hate that for Stanford. I think he'd be a good college coach, honestly. Like, you get him out there, you recruit an athletic quarterback who can run, and you can run that offense all day on colleges that don't have, talent front to back.
Yeah.
You can win a lot of games doing that.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure he'll be happier there, not having to listen to, us and all the Ravens fans saying screw Greg Roman every week. I'm actually legitimately happy for Greg Roman if he gets that job.
Oh yeah, he seems like a likable guy.
Yeah,
right.
Just that he just shouldn't have the job that he has right now. That's
Steve Blockhead said, "Let Harbaugh coach special teams for Stanford." Yes. Agent C says, "All right, I'm back. Where did you go, Agent E? Did you leave us? Explain yourself, sir." JP says, "How come no one went up to Justin Tucker after the game when he was upset about missing that field goal and tell him, look, bro, you were 3 yards away from 70, so take it easy." Look, I mean, you don't have to say anything to him. But he's over there. Okay, he's over there. He's gonna make the kick, or he's not gonna make the kick. 98% of the time, he's gonna make a kick, even if it's from 67 yards out. Now, okay. Speaking of, because we did a post game show discussing this, how ridiculous it is that we send a kicker to go out there to win the game by breaking his record for a field goal kick.
Is it ridiculous? And he should be upset with himself, and nobody should be giving him a pass. You know why? Because you don't give Lamar a pass when you ask him to put the entire team on his back for the 59 other minutes in the game. And when he can't do it one time, you say, screw Lamar, look, he messed it up, he lost us the game, blah blah blah. You expect him to be perfect? Justin, you got to be perfect too. That's the ecosystem you have there in Baltimore. That's how you win. Those guys have to be perfect, and when they're not, they take the heat for it.
That's a good point. Shout out to Marco G for the $3 donation. Appreciate you guys, man. It says, all I want for Christmas is for G-Row to get the Stanford job. Jokes aside, I think he's a good college coach. Yeah, we'll see. Just not built for the NFL. If Harbs is smart, he should encourage him to get the job so he doesn't have to worry about firing him or extending him. Yeah. That's what it is. I think Harbaugh just doesn't like firing his friends, and instead of firing them, like he pushes for them to get jobs elsewhere, so he doesn't have to say, "Yeah, I fired them." And shout out to Anonymous for a $30 donation. Appreciate you so much. What does that say, B?
As much love to my brothers and all of LBHT crew. Thank you. Thank
indeed.
You so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And once again, if you guys want to be awesome, like all these donors have so far, okay, there are two ways you can do that. Right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's the Cash App. Also, that pin link that you see in the comment. Both ways, or that pin link will take you to our Stream Elements page. Both ways, you leave your donation, leave your comment, and you will get a nice animation. You'll see Microphone Man raise the fist, okay, saluting you. All right, Josh Hoffman, what's going on?
I was just reading that. He said, "Who's blaming Lamar for this game? Take away the drops, and we're probably saying, wow, Greg Roman had a 450-yard passing, 3-touchdown game. Credit to Roman, almost." There are a lot of people.
There are a lot of people
for this game, Josh.
You can look at our look at our comments from our post game and look at Coach's stream from Monday. There were a lot.
It's ridiculous, but there are a lot of people putting blame on Lamar in the offense.
Yeah.
Despite score, because even with the drops, they scored 27 points. You shouldn't be blaming them for anything.
Yeah.
You put together an offense that should score 14, and they scored 27. Go do your job.
Do your job. 18 points in the fourth quarter. I don't want to hear about anything else. Two
75-yard touchdown drives. I don't want to hear about anything else either.
Man, listen. So for those of you who don't watch the Ravens Roundup, first of all, go subscribe to Sit to Tally Films. All right, and watch us every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We give grades for all the players, all the units, right? And we gave a lot of Fs that day. I was tempted to give everybody on offense an A because we scored 27 points. And it doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter how many drop passes there were. It doesn't matter how unable we were to run the ball. It doesn't matter. With less than 2 minutes left in the game, we were up 7 points. That's exactly the situation you want to put a defense in, especially this defense.
Mm-hmm.
And all they had to do was not give up a touchdown. and they gave it up. And all they had to do was not give up the 2-point conversion, and they gave it up. I was going to give everybody on offense an A and everybody on defense an F. All right. And shout out to Money Making Mitch for the $3 donation. Thank you so much. He says, if G-Roll gets the job, is he leaving during the season?
But
but look, recruiting starts. I'm not sure when recruiting season starts. You would think he would have to leave a little bit earlier, right? To get to start that recruiting process. That's actually a good question.
Yeah, I don't think that he would. I think in situations like that, you see them, especially for playoff teams, essentially just doing some work during the week when they're not preparing for their next game. You don't really see guys just straight up leave. You see that in college. The regular season will end and they'll leave and they won't coach the bowl game. They'll go wherever they're going. I don't think that you'll see that with Greg Roman. I think he'll be there to finish out the season regardless.
Yeah. Let's read a couple more comments here. Nitro says we need more friends like John Harbaugh. Facts. Facts. One session says hashtag LBHT crew. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you. Just Aloe says Mahomes was missing passes left and right Sunday, but he gets so many chances and his skill players are so much better. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. All the top quarterbacks miss passes. All your top wide receivers drop passes, but they get the opportunities to make up for it, and they do make up for it.
Yeah, and they have the talent to make up for it.
Yeah. What's up, Tanja? Tanja says Jim Harbaugh is affiliated with Stanford. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. That's right. You're right. Good point. John set it up. He had to try and get Greg out of here. That is an excellent point, Tanja.
And Jim said, "Ain't no way in hell I'm taking him in Michigan."
They were on the phone. He's like, "Bro," he was like, "Big bro, you want Greg back?" He said, "Nah, little bro, I don't want him." I'll call Stanford though. Like David is about to quit. He called me and said he's about done. I'll put in the word for Greg over there. That's an excellent point.
He's like, Jimothy, I just took the DC off your hands. Like, you're not gonna help me out. He's like, I said I'm gonna call Stanford, bro.
Manuel said Jose handed F's like Oprah to the team. I was a little bit. It wasn't all F's. I gave more D minuses than everybody else. Everybody else was giving F's. Okay, but thinking back on it, if I could retroactively grade, I would give F's. Yeah. A lot of F's. They were awful. That defense, that whole defense, F. Right? Terrible. You cannot spend what we spent on that side of the ball. Okay. First round draft pick for this is just under EDC. I'm not even gonna go back to Ozzy because Marlowe was a Ozzy pick, but Patrick Queen, first round pick. Roquan Smith was first round pick, but for another team, we traded a second round pick for him. We traded a second or third round pick for Marcus Peters. We spent a first round pick on Oweh. We spent a first round pick on Kyle Hamilton. All right. We traded, I don't know what, like a third or whatever for Calais Campbell. Matt Abike, third round pick.
Ojabo, a second round pick.
Ojabo, second round pick.
Hasn't played yet.
Yes.
Travis Jones, a third round pick. And I don't know if he's playing or not. Because he ain't doing nothing.
Third round pick for Brandon Stevens. Right. And then, like another 3 4th round picks on the rest of our cornerbacks, Jalen Armour Davis, Pepe Williams, whoever else is out there. Right. A lot of our top resources are going to that side of the ball. And the Roquan Smith thing was really making me go hard at them. I love Roquan Smith as a player, but that was a time at the trade deadline where we had to get a wide receiver. They knew Bateman was going to be out for the season at that point. I know the report came out after the trade deadline, but they knew that he was done for the season, right? And they said, don't matter. We want to go linebacker here. We wanted to get Roquan at the beginning of the season, but we didn't want to pull the trigger. Now we're doing it. We're doing it now. So they got their guy, and this is what they keep saying, how they want to win football games. So when your offense outperforms in terms of scoring, they need to hold up their end of the deal, especially against a bad team.
Even when the offense doesn't overperform, when the offense doesn't perform at all, you need to hold up your end and win the game. That's what you're there for. That's what the Ravens keep telling you. Like they couldn't make it any clearer, right? Like you said, they knew Rashad Bateman was going to be out, for an extended period. Even if they didn't know he was out for the season yet, they knew he was going to miss some time, right? And they traded for Roquan Smith. They knew that they weren't going to have Hollywood Brown when they drafted Kyle Hamilton and then drafted an injured David Ojabo, right? They don't care. They don't care about getting Lamar anybody to throw the ball to. They don't want Lamar to look good.
Right. All right. We got a guest here. Our brother, Mr. OTR Mike. What's going on, Mikey?
Up, look, man, I just had to hop on and say it's 116 people in here. Y'all better be hitting that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Obviously, you here because you like this smoke that's being given. So subscribe and then hit the like button. That's all I wanted to jump on and say, fellas. Like I said, y'all gave me a key, so I just sneak in every once in a while. You know what I mean? But that's hit that like button. I see Cousin Davon saying hit the like button. That's because Cousin Davon know what's up. So hit that like button, y'all.
Hey, I appreciate it, Mikey. And while you up here, look, this three right here. Okay, if you're into boxing, Ring Kings Podcast is where you want to go. Ring Kings Podcast. All right. I had some videos queued up. They're gonna go out soon. And we're gonna record some stuff here shortly. We have a lot to talk about. Okay.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about. There's some fights coming up. Lots of fun there. Okay. Also, Mr. OTR Mike has his own podcast, Open Mic with OTR Mike. All right. You want to go over there and subscribe. If you're an audio listener, he's available wherever you listen to audio podcasts. Good listen on your way to work or coming home from work if you're stuck in traffic. Those go out every Monday at 5 a.m. So before you even wake up, or if you're an early bird, I put them out because that's when Mikey wakes up. Mikey's up and out the house by that time, right? So that's for Mikey. So every Monday is when those new episodes come out. So make sure you go over there, subscribe on YouTube, or just follow wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, Mikey, do you have any thoughts on what's been going on? We haven't discussed yet. I'm not sure if you saw the latest report that Lamar left practice early with a quad injury.
I did see that.
Okay. So our guy, Game Medicine, or Raven, he changed his name now. It's not Game Medicine. It's Ravens RX or something like that, right? He DM'd us. He's very knowledgeable with this stuff. He fears that it could be a torn quad. He said he hopes he's wrong. Ooh. It could be a torn quad. He won't necessarily miss games, but it's going to severely affect how he plays moving forward.
Hey, he seemed. Listen, I followed him, and he seems to be spot on with what he says. So
he does. Yes,
that is because he's so accurate. That's not a good thing for us. I don't know much about how quad injuries affect or how they go. Did it happen at practice or did it happen in the game? Because they said they took him out of practice early for treatment.
Practice. So the week before he had a little hip issue, and I'm not sure. Look, I mean, this Game Medicine. I mean, he's in the medical field, so he was just like, based off of his injury last week and him, hurting his quad this week, he's like, there's a fear there that there could be a tear. Obviously, he's not the doctor, and there's nothing that's been reported yet. But he's just kind of giving his analysis on the situation, right? So, not saying that's the case. We're just saying, that's something we gotta, be on the lookout for. Hopefully, it's just mild. If it's mild, then I think it's about a couple of days or a week where he might he can recover. He might not even miss the game, right? But we'll see.
And he's saying that he DM'd us this. He says that if it's true, every time he plants his foot to pass, run, juke, or spin, his leg muscle contracts and the injury gets worse. And it's just something that will kind of linger on if he doesn't just sit out and let it get healthy, and that'll be through the rest of the season. That'll just kind of be lingering there. But if you want to get up to the minute injury news and more accurate injury news than you get from most of the Ravens reporters out there. He's Ravens Medical on YouTube. Go ahead and give him a subscribe. On Twitter, it's Mills RX. You can follow him there, and he posts a lot of updates, especially on these couple of days leading up to the game, let you know what's going on with all of the Ravens injury and other sports as well. He's been covering a lot of World Cup recently, so yeah, he's on top of it.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Mikey, what are your thoughts on this?
Man, listen, you hate to hear it. Any injury, I don't care how minor or severe it is, you don't want to hear, especially with number 8, because as we know, we go as far as 8 takes us. We've seen that last year. So I'll say this, right? Obviously, you don't want him to miss any time. We are in a soft stretch of the schedule. If it's any time to do it, I guess it would be now. But I mean, we're not built like that anyway, to where we would be comfortable, or nor do we have a comfortable lead in the division where we could take that chance. So I don't know, man. I would hate to see if it's one of those things that doesn't get better and it gets worse as he plays on it. That's tough. That's a tough call, man. I don't know. Bad news for sure. Super bad news for sure.
For me, I think it's an easy call. If I'm Lamar, I'm sitting out.
Oh yeah, from his standpoint, yeah, sit out.
This is the easiest thing in the world. If I'm 80%, I'm sitting out. If I'm Lamar, this is my contract year.
Yeah,
he's shown enough. I know the last few weeks he hasn't looked great, but anybody with 2 pairs of eyes can see that it's not on him. He's doing everything he can to carry this team, and him sitting out just like last year, because this team in some ways is worse. The better on the offensive line, but everything else is just worse. So he sits out, especially if it's a couple of games and they go on another losing streak. It just reaffirms that they can't win without him, right? Even if he misses one game, if he misses this game coming up and they lose to the Broncos, right? It's understood that the Ravens are nothing without Lamar. And that's only going to help his negotiations. That's what we're saying. Like, there's no way he's going to lose the season, even if injury happens. If injury happens, it's going to be just like when Dak got hurt, right? He was, they franchised him. They weren't trying to pay him. He got hurt. They fell off a cliff, and they're like, okay, we're just playing with you, man. Whatever you want, you got the money, right? Same thing can happen in this situation. So, but if he's hurt, if it's that severe, he's got to sit out. Make sure he's healthy at the end of the year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so you hanging out? You got to head out.
Yeah. I'll chill with y'all for a minute. I mean, I just dropped in to get a sandwich out of y'all fridge. But if y'all want me to chill,
hey.
I think the chat wants you to stay. So we're gonna get your thoughts on this clown.
Okay, yes. All right.
Rhule.
Listen. We are getting into the Panthers portion of this. Okay, we'll pick up the Ravens talk back in bonus time for our Panthers Nation out there. And listen, Ravens Nation, you want to hear this too, because this is comical, right? This, like, you might hear some of our coaches copping pleas once they eventually get fired like this. This is sad right here. Yeah. So, all right, take it away, B. This is B's team.
Matt Rhule, obviously he got fired in Carolina. He was let go. He had I want to say it was a 7-year deal, huge contract, right? A huge amount of authority in Carolina. He essentially had kind of control over the roster. They had kind of alluded to the new GM Fitterer being a little bit of a yes man, right? Like he was going to be answering to Matt Rhule, but obviously it didn't work. So Matt Rhule's out. And he just got the job at Nebraska. He got himself another 7 or 8 year contract. So congrats to him on that. I mean, that's quite a feat. But he's been going on a media tour trying to rehab his image a little bit because it it wasn't a good look in Carolina, right? And he got made fun of quite a bit. And people said, hey, this guy doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. So he's out there trying to give his side of the story and tell you what really happened and everything. And it turns out what really happened is not my fault. It's not. I don't know, but it wasn't me. And they, Rich Eisen asked him about, if he had a magic wand and he could go back and draft a quarterback, like Justin Fields, who's tearing it up now.
Right.
Would he do that? And he said, I mean, I didn't make the picks. I'm not the GM. So, it's he's kind of trying to deflect and trying to, kind of, like I said, just rub some dirt off of himself, make himself look a little more presentable for when he shows up in Nebraska. I don't know who he's fooling or who he thinks he's fooling, but it's a terrible, terrible look.
I mean, listen. This guy right here is lying to you. All right. That guy is lying. I'm not sure what he's saying right there, but he's telling a lie. Look, Matt Rhule, I mean, this is so I told you, I said we have to talk about this. Like, I've been listening to his media tour since last week. He's been on NFL Network. I think he was on ESPN as well.
Mhm.
And I was like, man, whatever. Right. I heard him copping pleas from last week. Whatever. But the other day he went on Rich Eisen, and I heard the clip today, and I'm like, this guy accepts no accountability. I don't want somebody like that around young men, for sure, right? He's always making excuses. But the thing that got to me was when he was saying, "Oh, well, Rich Eisen asked him what happened." He's like, "Well, it was supposed to be a 4-year plan. I was told a 4-year plan. I had 4 years to turn it around." Well, yeah, it's a 4-year plan, but 2 years into it, if you're looking terrible.
My man said, if he had told me he wanted it done in 2 years, I would have done it a little different.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. He said if I knew I had 2 years, I'd have made some different moves. I don't know what you thought you was coaching, but this is the NFL.
It's weird though, because he said, if he knew he had to do it in 2 years, he would have made different moves, signed more free agents, done a few different things. But a second ago, you didn't make the moves. You're not the GM.
Yes, because he, when he's asked about the quarterback, he's like, "Oh, people ask me about why we draft the quarterback." Well, first of all, Justin Herbert got drafted ahead of us, and I don't make the picks, so you don't make the picks, but you make the free agent moves.
Yeah,
that's interesting. The man's just he's a clown.
Well, this is a clear situation where you could talk smack about your former boss when you got another job lined up, right? You keep it cool until you got that other job lined up. Now it's like, all right, well, they're gonna pay me out of the wazoo. Even though I think he was still on the hook, Carolina was still on the hook for his salary, but I guess when someone's paying you still got to be nice, I guess, right? But now that someone else is gonna pay him his salary, he talking mad smack, but. It's whack. It is whack when a coach won't step up to the plate and just. I mean, why not just say, you know what, it just didn't work out, right? For whatever reason, it didn't work out.
Yeah, fans wanted him gone, right? But I don't think anybody looked at him and said, "Hey, that's a bad person." Like they just said, you don't want him to be the head coach. If you come out and you just say, "Hey, you know what, I was in over my head. We made some bad decisions. I did my best, and it just didn't work." Nobody would have anything to say. They're like, right. You know what? Good luck, Matt.
Yeah. Look, Davon says it here. It says, "Wow, so Rhule admitted to complacency and comfort. Interesting." Can you imagine Lovie Smith right now saying, "Hey man, look, I got like 2 or 3 years to turn this around. No biggie this season, right?" No, like his job, like he's sweating bullets right now. The Texans aren't playing well. He knows he could be gone after this year.
He will be gone after this year.
He probably will be gone.
Just like David Culley was gone after 1 year where they played better than they're playing right now. And could you imagine Lovie Smith coming out and be like, I didn't pick any of these guys.
Right.
Like, what you want me to do?
Steve Wilkes is coaching his ass off right now, so he can either keep that job or get another head coaching job. But here you have Matt Rhule, sitting there comfortably and just being complacent, knowing, hey, I got time. No, like the fact that he said, hey, if I knew I had 2 years, I'd done things differently. You should have done it that way. It doesn't matter what any owner says. You need to win as soon as possible. Because why would you wait 4 years if you could get it done in 2 years?
Because I can.
Right. Right. You know, I don't want to work as hard right now.
He
I'll work hard later.
wanted to build it the right way.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because
see.
with 4 years, he wanted to build it through the draft. He don't want any free agents.
D Weezy says Rhule talking all big about his ex because he found a new chick. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, right? So he's saying that he didn't get to make the draft picks, but he signed the free agents and he made the trades, right?
That's what he suggested. Yes.
Yeah, but the fact is he made the draft picks.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, even okay, let's say that he didn't make the draft picks, but he made the trades, right? For the two guys that's on the team now at quarterback. And I feel like
it was very nice to see Sam play well this week.
I feel like I take the draft picks over those two moves that he made. Whoever made those draft picks, I'll take that over those two moves.
Yeah. Hey, I loved him saying, he's like, yeah, man, I think they have a good team there. And like I always say, if the offense goes out and scores points, they win. So, yeah, well, why didn't you?
Why they score more points than the other team? They're gonna win every time.
Why you ain't score points, man?
Hey, shout out to the show for another donation here. He says that's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT. Talking about OTR Mike. OTR Mike in the house. Yes, thank you, Shug.
Love you, Shug. Love you, brother.
Yes. So, okay, for those of you who don't know, right? Panthers fans know this painfully well, but Matt Rhule, the Panthers were picking at 6 overall, I believe. 8th overall. You still had Justin Fields on the board.
Still had Rashawn Slater on the board. So J.C. Horn was at best. Well, actually, no. I'm not even gonna say they had Justin Fields, Rashawn Slater, Devonta Smith. So he was at best.
Micah Parsons was still
Micah
there.
Parsons. So he was at best the 5th best option at number 8.
Yeah. And yes, look, I'm not gonna lie to you and say I thought Michael Parsons was going to be this monster that he is now, right? That's a little hindsight there. But look, man, when you're in that position, you have to get it right. You can say it's luck, right? A lot of people say, "Hey, man, it's just luck." Yeah, you gotta be lucky. Sorry, that's the job. You get paid. You get paid to get it right.
The reality is, quarterback is the most important position in the game. And you have to protect your quarterback. So it had to be either Justin Fields or Rashawn Slater, and they didn't take either one of them.
Yeah. And he mentioned that it's funny because he didn't really explain why he didn't get Justin Fields, right? He mentioned Justin Herbert, and he's like, "Hey, well, he got picked ahead of us. What can I do?" And then he mentioned, "Oh yeah, there's Justin Fields, and there was Mac Jones."
He started to mention it. He started to say there wasn't anybody there to take, right? Because he didn't like Mac Jones and presumably he didn't like Justin Fields. But you can't say that when Justin Fields is playing as well as he is right now. So he kind of stopped himself mid-sentence. And he's like, obviously Justin is running wild right now. He's tearing it up in Chicago, and Mac he's a good person. But if you're gonna lie, continue to lie, because he said, "Hey, I'll make the picks." So he could easily said, "I loved Justin Fields. I wanted Justin Fields," like he did with Cam, right? Like he used to always say, "Oh yeah, I would love to have Cam on the team. I would love to coach Cam Newton," and then Cam got cut.
Yeah. Shout out to Marco G for the donation. He says, "Do you guys think it's fair to say Josh Allen is Cam?" Yes.
I think it's fair to say he's a worse version of Cam. Now
he's not bad. Right?
No.
He's not bad. He is. Yeah. I'm not sure. He's Cam. He's Cam weapons.
Unfortunately, people are going to take that take that as a knock, but that's just a test to how great Cam was. Cam was that dude.
It's not a knock. I mean, Cam went 15-1, won MVP, and took his team to the Super Bowl, throwing it to Ted Ginn
and Jericho Cotchery.
Cam was a more talented
Philly
player
Brown
than Josh Allen is, and Josh Allen is a great player.
Yes, yeah. Look, I'll say this though: those runs he's doing that reminds me of Cam as well. I wish he stopped doing that. I like Josh Allen, and I want him to have a long career as well. I wish he would go down a little bit more because
he needs to get with Lamar and take a little course on how to avoid those hits. He really does.
Darren says it. He says Cam was actually Superman. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Danny says Robert Saleh got the Jets looking playoff ready in the second year. Facts. And this Panthers team is not bare bones, right? We had a discussion with our friend Noah in our Discord, and Noah thinks that the Panthers are far away from competing. We were making comparison to the Lions, and I told him that the Panthers will be back in the playoffs before the Lions. The Panthers are not far away. They have talent on that team. What
They're missing a quarterback away.
They're a quarterback away and a competent coach away. And that can happen all next year. All that can happen next year. And shout out to Anonymous for the $20 donation. Thank you so much. Says, is Coach Rhule and Panthers years voided now? That's a good question.
They're not voided, but they it's offset by his Nebraska deal. So they showed the breakdown, and he's making like it goes from, I believe, like $5 million in his first year, and it escalates every year after that. So Carolina still has to pay the difference. From what I read, like they're going to owe him $3 million this year, $2 million next year. Like it gets smaller each year. They're still going to have to pay him some money, but it's not anywhere near the amount that they had owed him when they fired him.
But total, he's still getting NFL money for his time in Nebraska.
Must be nice.
He's getting a very nice contract from Nebraska, and he's getting the Carolina money on some of the Carolina money on top of it.
Now let me ask you this: what if, like after like a year or two, they're like, "This isn't working. We gotta fire you." Does he? Because he signed an 8-year deal with them, right?
Yes, sir.
Does he still get the money from Panthers and Nebraska?
Yeah, you got to. Y'all honor them contracts, man.
Look, I'll say this: his agent, along with Bobby Bonilla's agent, deserves a Nobel Peace Prize.
You gotta buy him a Lambo, right?
For the type of work that they done on these contracts, you gotta listen. They need to be recognized for that. I mean, good for him. Like if you have it set up like that where it doesn't work, you get fired and you still get paid all of your money. That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. Keelan says Josh Allen is Cam if he had weapons. Lamar is Steve Young with a much stronger arm. Mahomes is Brett Favre, who doesn't throw picks, and Herbert is Drew Brees with the cannon. Okay, I like those comparisons.
Not bad.
I like that. Yeah. Raven C says Panthers getting Tyler Huntley.
No.
Look,
I'll tell you one thing. There is one thing that scares me. One thing that scares me a lot, because everybody says, "Oh, why are you rooting for your team to lose?" Blah blah blah. They're sitting at either 5th or 6th right now in the draft, and that means they won't get Bryce Young, they won't get CJ Stroud. I don't really have a lot of belief in the other quarterbacks here. Michael Penix, I think maybe there's something there. Don't believe in Levis. Not a real big believer in Hendon Hooker. I mean, I like him, but I'm not a big believer in him on the next level. There is a rumor out there that would lead to destruction for my Carolina Panther fandom. And that rumor is Tom Brady going back to the New England Patriots. And we're going to talk about the implications of that in the OT. And how that would lead me to no longer be a Carolina Panther fan.
Yes, right here, the Overtime Show. Okay, that's where we're going to discuss it. You see Dion in that picture too. There's some news going on with Dion.
Grifters right there.
Listen, if you want to be a part of Overtime Show, this is a good way to a good breaking point to give you a word from our sponsors, ourselves. Okay, Patreon.com/LBHT Show, right below Mikey. Okay. Right there. That's where you can find the Overtime Show. Right there. Yes, right where he's pointing. Okay. There are 3 tiers. Okay. B, explain the tiers. You got $3 tier, which is going away soon. Price is going up. Okay. You got 3 tier, $10 tier, $20 tier. B.
Yeah, so
tell them what they're getting.
The $3 tier is a general support tier. It also gets you into our NFL Pick'em League, where we give a custom LBHT trophy away to the winner every year.
And that guy right there, he is the current champion. There he is, like Jordan and Kobe, okay, holding it down.
The $10 tier, moving on, we'll get you the LBHT Crew coin that Jose has.
I do have the coin right there.
And that'll get you into our fantasy football leagues that we do every year. We have a dynasty league going on. We also have a redraft league that we do. If there's enough interest, we'll start up a second dynasty league as well. But for the dynasty league, we're playing for the LCFL championship belt. That's going to go out to the winner, and whoever wins gets to put their logo on the belt for next year. It also gets you the ability to request specific content. If you want an article or video on a sports topic, you can let us know and we'll produce that. And then we have the $20 tier, which is a combined tier for this show and our other podcast, the Ring Kings podcast. And you get everything that I mentioned, as well as our custom poker deck featuring our top 25 boxers of all time. And all of the tiers will get you into the overtime show that we do every week following our live show. And as well, get you into our Discord server.
All right. Now, also, if you like what we're wearing, okay, I turn my green screen effect off for a minute so you can see the actual color of the shirt that I'm wearing. Okay, this is the Raven City shirt. Okay, you can get that on our store. All right here, LBHTShow.com/shop. Okay, that's we got this. You got what B's wearing. Okay, we got Ring Kings merch. Like we have it all. Everything that you see right there and a whole lot more is on that store. All right. So we put a lot of thought and effort into it. We got some hopefully higher quality, some Egyptian like cotton material for this stuff.
And our holiday microphone man hoodie and sweater and t-shirts are up now as well.
Yes. All kinds of stuff right there. All right. So go over there, check it out, see if there's something that you like, and support your boys. All right. And as mentioned, Ring Kings podcast. Okay. We got some episodes coming out. We got a few episodes coming out real soon. So go over there, hit the subscribe button, and open mic with OTR Mike. That's where you can find Mikey on his solo podcast where he talks about all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. He covers everything. So it's never boring. Also, our guy Hendo, who's in the chat, Ravens Online Ungatekeepers. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. All right, so check them out. I gotta get Coach's logo up here too, because I need you guys to subscribe to Sip 2 Tally Films. Coach is putting out content every day. He has us as guests every Monday on the Ravens Roundtable. Okay, great discussion, great times. And Raven C is in the chat as well. Make sure you subscribe to Raven C. Right? Yep.
That's
Jordan
right.
and Kobe
didn't
break the trophy. He said Jordan and Kobe didn't break their trophy.
They didn't have young kids Raven C at the time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And again, Suge is correct. Hendo is going to choke in the playoffs.
Oh, he put the bad juju on you in live in front of all the people, bro.
Be the change you wish to see. Thank you for joining the live stream. He says 80 Robinson Jr. is somewhere laughing. Who's swag? Who's swag if I ain't swag?
He ain't swag.
We're gonna talk about that. Hey, if you got $3 in your pocket, if you had $3 in your pocket and you were planning on ordering some Grubhub, man, just go ahead and pick it up. Pick up the food. You want to save about $20 right there. Okay, you can actually sign up for our $20 here if you wanted to. But if you got just $3, go ahead and sign up to Patreon. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Let me bring it back up. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. That'll give you access to our overtime show and our Discord. We have a lot of fun in there. All right. So come in there and hang out with us. All right.
Only undefeated, and I was just like the Patriots.
Hendo, he put everything on the line for this year, man. He is the Rams of our league, and it is paying off so far. Shout out to you, Hendo. I am rooting for you. Okay. I'm rooting for you. I want you to get that.
Why would you be rooting for him in a league which you are also a part of?
Man, because
you're going to the playoffs.
I'm ninth right now. I'm right there on the line. I am the Chargers.
There's 2 weeks left, man.
I'm the Chargers. I look good on paper.
Listen,
I'm not winning.
I mean, you win enough to be ninth. You can get in.
I'm fighting. I am fighting. I've had some.
Sound like it. You sound like the Nets right now. Oh man, this is Hendo's year.
It is Hendo's year, man.
That's you right now.
It is Hendo's year. I'm just not a hater like you, B. All right. Listen, Hendo, last year, B actually held up the belt on camera He held it up. Okay, this is the original belt right here. Our guy Deshaun won it last year. Shout out to Deshaun. I saw you in the chat too, Deshaun. He won it last year. He is our current champion. Okay, look at that belt. The picture doesn't do it justice, man. That is a nice shiny belt. Okay, even this year's belt. B held it up, and Hendo signed up for our Patreon. He said, "I want my coin, and I want my belt." Okay, this is the original coin. You can't even get these anymore. This is the original coin that he got right here. Okay, that's the original one. All right. He said, "I want that, and I want my belt."
And then
All
he
right.
traded for Zach Wilson, and then he turned into this monster that we've been dealing with in the Dynasty League.
Nitro says Chargers have everything the Ravens wish they had and can't even make the playoffs. Facts. You know what they don't have? They don't have Lamar Jackson. Oh.
But you know one thing I want to say about that, right?
Yeah.
When do we take the kid gloves off of my man
Herbert?
Well,
like when does he start to catch the, oh man, he ain't got it, oh he can't win the gig? When does he start to catch that?
I think he'll start to catch it after this year, but they have actually been decimated by injuries, not like the Ravens where you had a bunch of practice squatters get hurt.
Hold on, I need Moss to take care of this gentleman right here. Shook said I got an original coin bootleg $40 each.
listen, I'll tell you one thing. If you want one, there's one floating around North Vegas somewhere. You can you head out there, you can find it. Right? we mailed one out. It didn't get to its intended recipient, so we had to mail another one. So there's one floating around.
Someone has it. Yes, someone has it. That's a good question, though.
Really hope they Googled that name and subscribed.
Look, that's a good question, and that's a good segue to bonus time. We are officially in bonus time. All right.
No, we're not. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
We got to do our picks.
Oh no, we gotta do our picks. Oh well, it's a good thing you showed up, Mikey. Yeah, we need you here for the picks.
I always come right on time for the
hold on. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go back to the Justin Herbert question because that's we're gonna leave overtime with that. All right. Look, Kale's there.
Picture up here?
He said it's in South
Vegas. My bad.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I forgot to put up the picture again.
I got it.
No. The Black History Fact picture.
You did forget. Yes.
Yeah, I did. That's Mother Mary Elizabeth Lang.
There you go.
Well, throw it back to the start of the show. All right, now we're back.
Yes. There we go. Rapid fire. I desperately need to get a rapid fire sound effect. But
you have SoundPad and you've not loaded any sounds.
I did, but I didn't like the ones I loaded. Look, man, listen, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect.
You got the Elgato. You can just do it one button press and there it is. But
it's not about the convenience. It's about getting the perfect sound. Okay.
Oh all right.
It's got to be perfect.
Whatever. Week 13.
Week 13. Let's go.
Jesus. All right. Buffalo at New England Thursday night. I am actually going to take New England in this one. It's the coaching. It's the home team on Thursday. Josh Allen has been struggling. He, as Tony Romo was very fond of letting you know, he does have a problem with his elbow. I think they get upset Thursday night.
Man, if they lost, Buffalo would be in some serious trouble.
Yeah,
I'm going Buffalo though.
Yeah, they lost. That would be huge for that division. But I'm gonna go Buffalo.
What is the other presentation here that'll have the thing on the side?
Oh yeah,
all of us on the side and which one it is.
You have to I have to share. You have to share it differently.
Okay, well, whatever. All right, moving on.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
They know I'm here.
Pittsburgh at Atlanta. I think Atlanta has kind of run out of juice. Kyle Pitts is out now. I think that Pittsburgh is gonna put the nail in their coffin.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh.
This was a tough one for me, but I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. I think they run all over them. And we see a quarterback change in Atlanta this week. Watch out for that.
Come on, man. All right.
We see.
Green Bay at Chicago. Aaron Rodgers, he's feeling a little nervous about his job. He announced himself on TV that he's going to be playing this week. I think Chicago gets him. Justin Fields starts to own the Green Bay Packers this week.
Oh, I got Chicago.
Fields playing?
Huh?
Is Fields playing this week?
Who?
Justin Fields.
Fields? Oh, I don't think they haven't said for sure, but I was kind of assuming that he would. It was kind of iffy for last week, so I assume he'd be ready to go this week. But
All right, well,
that's a good question.
let me be safe. Let me go with Green Bay.
and the uprising,
Yes.
the awakening of Christian Watson. Jacksonville at Detroit.
Can you see that?
We can see it once I take this down. Jacksonville at Detroit. This one, I mean, Jacksonville's coming off a big win, obviously. We've talked about that quite a bit. Detroit, I mean, they're still the Lions. I'm taking Sunshine.
Mm.
I'm taking the new Sunshine to beat the original Sunshine.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going Detroit, man.
Give me Jacksonville. They will run Zay Jones into the hole until somebody stops him. So give me Jacksonville.
The New York Jets at the Minnesota Vikings. The Jets have been freed from Zach Wilson. I'm taking New York all day.
Oh, over the Vikings?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got the Jets too.
Give me where they at? They in Minnesota?
At Minnesota.
Yeah, give me Minnesota.
They're playing in the dome, so like it's not even, they don't even have that cold weather to help them out. It's air conditioned. It's better conditions for the Jets.
Yeah, but look, they trip up in New York for sure. They definitely trip up in New York.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up, we got Washington at the New York Giants. I still don't believe in Heineke. I'm going to take the Giants to keep it rolling.
Same. I got the Giants.
Yeah, the G-men get back on the
Is Chase Young coming back?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Next up, we got Tennessee at Philadelphia. Philadelphia signed a couple of defensive tackles to shore up their run defense. They're better on defense. They're better on offense. And I think they're probably better coached, so I'm taking the Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
Philly in a close one. I think Henry gets off on them early. They had trouble stopping the run a little bit. But Jalen, the MVP, Hurts will pull it out.
Okay.
Very bold. Denver at Baltimore. Now, Baltimore should win this easily, right? I mean, they've got the defense. They've got Lamar, but they should have beat Jacksonville easily as well. But Russell Wilson is playing historically bad, so I'm going to stick with Baltimore.
Yes, he's playing historically bad, but we've had 4 or 5 quarterbacks play their best games against us. We don't even know if Lamar's going to play.
His best game means like what, 250?
That might be enough. So wait, did you give a score?
Oh no, I didn't give a score. Wow.
Yeah,
it's gonna be low scoring. I'm gonna take Baltimore 2017.
Listen, this is the last time I'm going to pick Baltimore. After if they don't win this week, this will be it. I am picking Baltimore. It's going to be 16-10.
Wow.
You're not getting the score, Mike. You just
Who is this? Circling the field. He's going to do this in the middle of Ravens Stadium. He's going to look around. He's going to get all the good juju coming on him. And then he's going to say, let's ride. Now, the problem is he's going to ride down the wrong street, probably Pennsylvania Avenue or somewhere he's going to go down the wrong street. So Denver loses this game, Baltimore 20-10.
One thing we didn't factor in, like, what if Baltimore comes out really amped up because they want to show Stanford exactly what they're getting in Greg Roman, and they put up 40? I'll get my man up out of here. Next up, we got Cleveland at Houston. This is the return of Deshaun Watson. Houston is god-awful, and Cleveland gets the win.
Yep, Cleveland big.
Yeah. I'm not even going to bug out. So you know what? I'm a little nervous on this one, right? Because last time we seen Deshaun, and it was preseason, he didn't look that great, right?
No.
I don't expect him to look great. I don't think I'm gonna take Cleveland, but I don't think Cleveland wins big. Watch this one though, as on the upset alert. Watch this one.
I think this is this one is close throughout the game, and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt put it away late. Next, we've got Seattle at the LA Rams. I believe Matt Stafford is still going to be out. I think they're still going to be starting Bryce Perkins. Aaron Donald looks like he may be out as well. Taking Geno and the Seahawks to keep it rolling over there.
Yep, I got Geno.
Yes, sir. Geno, look, I'm rooting for Geno to get a big payday. He's the next quarterback I want in line to fleece another organization.
Yep.
So pay Geno, get big money, and then do whatever you gotta do, bro.
Facts.
And I mean, a couple of game of the week candidates coming up here. We got Miami at San Francisco. That's a really big one. I think I'm going to take Miami on the road.
Yeah, I got Miami. You got Mike McDaniels coaching his former boss. Yeah. I think he's gonna show him up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami here.
Next up, we got Kansas City at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is getting right at the right time. Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be back for this one, and I'm going to take Cincinnati at home in the upset.
I got Kansas City. They gave up 2 close ones last year. They haven't forgotten about that. And I think Kansas City's going to win by 2 scores.
Yeah, cousin Davon said it. It's a KC revenge game. No way they come out of here with an L. Give me KC.
LA Chargers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Chargers need this one to kind of keep pace for the playoffs in the AFC. It should be an easy win, but it should have been an easy win last year over the Raiders to get them into the playoffs, and that didn't happen either. But I'm going to go with the Chargers and Justin Herbert to get it done this time.
I'm going with the Raiders, man. I didn't like what I saw from the Chargers last week against the Cardinals. All right. And Vegas surprised. Like it was too close. It was too close. And in the Raiders, ever since we said that McDaniel, there's too many Mc whatever names. Is it Josh McDaniels?
Yes.
Josh McDaniels. Yes. Josh McDaniels. Ever since we said that he should be gone. But his owner's a broke boy. He's relaxed a little bit. He said, "That's right, I can't get fired. I'm good." And he's just going out there. He's just coaching relaxed, and they performed a lot better. I would say. I still don't think they're a good team, but they've played a lot better. So at home, I'm going to pick them over the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Dallas Cowboys. This is Dallas. Huge.
Yeah, I got Dallas.
Yeah, the fighting Jeff Saturdays. They'll keep it close for about. They'll keep it close through halftime, and after that, it gets blown out of water.
I think they're going to keep it close through Dallas's first offensive drive.
17 sacks will happen in the second half of this game.
And last up, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Remember When We Used to Matter Bowl. Don't really care who wins this one, but I'm going to take Tom, even though he is a shadow or a shell of himself. I'm taking him over Andy Dalton.
I am taking Tampa. Look, Tom's going to turn it around because he's got to show. The Patriots that he still got something for next year. Okay, he's like, I might be 50, but look, I can still throw it 15 yards. Okay, he's gonna go. This is gonna be one of his better games. So when they bring him back, they can show some highlights of this year, and it's not all just checkdowns. This is going to be a big game for Tom Brady.
Yeah, I got Tampa.
And that is it for the Week 13 picks. So you can go ahead and stop sharing there.
All right. Yes. So we should have been doing this the whole time probably, but we're not that innovative. Shout out to Anonymous. Appreciate the donation. It says, is Mr. Walker starting this week? It cut off. I'm sorry.
They're starting for the Panthers this week. The Panthers are off, but I think they're going to be rolling with they're going to roll with Sam Darnold in the next game. And depending on how his ankle's looking. They're saying that PJ is going to be the backup. So, I mean, he's not fully healthy yet. So they're going to roll with Sam Darnold for until PJ's healthy, and then I think they'll make their decision at that point.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. All right, now we can fire up bonus time because we are getting dangerously close to hashtag 2 hours, and this is hashtag no 2 hours over here. Okay, that ain't happening. So let's fire up this bonus time. Okay, we'll read your comments and questions here for a few minutes, and then we are going to fire up the overtime show. If you want to be part of the overtime show, you go to patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. That's where it is right there. Let's take this down for a second so you can see it. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. You can sign up for as little as $3. All right. $3 a month. Or, you want the discount, things like $32 for the year. Okay. All right. Bonus time. Let's go. Okay. So we started out with a question from OTR Mike. He said, when is Justin Herbert going to get that smoke? All right. For not making the playoffs. For not doing anything, no accomplishments. Okay, when's it going to happen to him? B, your thoughts on that?
I think he'll start to get it a little bit after this season if they don't make it. But the thing about Justin Herbert is he kind of came out of, I don't want to say he came out of nowhere, but he underachieved at Oregon, mostly due to coaching. And I think people were a little split on him when he came out. He wasn't the first quarterback taken. You're playing for the Chargers, who people don't really care about. He's very quiet and very likable, so people don't really want to talk bad about him. And he hasn't given you a reason to, right? That's a team thing. Everybody was happy to blame the coach last year for going for it on fourth down so much and everything. So I think he'll start to hear it a little bit, but it won't be loud.
Yeah. So. Look, we can say that for a lot of players, a whole lot of players. The media has been hyper focused on Lamar Jackson, and we have to. Like most of the thumbnails that we put out, you got Lamar Jackson on the thumbnails, right? We know, just like the media, mainstream media knows, Lamar Jackson is a polarizing figure. You put his picture up, you put his name in something, people are going to click on that. Justin Herbert, nobody's going to click on that. Even Josh Allen, who's an excellent player. You put Josh Allen's name out there, outside of Buffalo area, most people aren't going to click on that, right? So that's a big part of it. But look, in terms of being an analyst, some of these people out there, consider themselves analysts, or just they're fans of the game, and they call it the way they see it. You have no problem showering praise on these players, right? When they do well, right? When Justin Herbert looked like he was going to be a top 5 quarterback, like they were predicting him to be in the offseason, Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl. Joe Burr, right? You had no problem hyping him up. Like, you can get that hype machine going for these guys when they play well or they play great. But when they're not living up to expectations, that's when you get quiet. Because I don't hear the smoke for Zach Wilson, right? I only heard it from Rich Eisen because Rich Eisen's a Jets fan. Right. But everybody else, where you at with that? Zach Wilson was a number 2 overall pick. Right. Yeah. I mean, we talk about the Panthers, you got 2 top. Look, listen, you didn't draft them, so it's not on you. Right. But I mean, look, you got Sam Darnold and you got Baker Mayfield. That was 1 and 2 in the draft. Mm-hmm. Right. That's the same draft as Lamar. 1 and 2 overall in the draft, or 3, because it was 3, 1 and 3 overall in the draft. The first 2 quarterbacks taken off the board, and it's looking like both of their careers are near over. Not through injury, right? Not through off-field stuff. They just flat out can't play. Okay, especially Baker Mayfield, who started out hot, and there's a lot of hype around him. He's doing all the progressive commercials.
I think Sam will get to continue on. I'm not 100% sure on.
Yeah. So I mean, we can go on and on and on about quarterbacks that should be getting a lot of criticism, and you just don't hear anything about them, right? But Lamar, every week his play gets criticized. Oh, he only has 7 touchdowns in the last eight weeks or whatever it is. So, right? He still has his team at the top of the division, right? He leads. He's what top 10 in rushing in the league, right? Like like he's asked to do more than your average quarterback, than every quarterback, I should say, not average quarterback. He's asked to do more than every quarterback, other than Josh Allen, really, right? And they could probably do less, do less of that with Josh Allen, for being honest. So it's just, it's a different dynamic. We know what it is, but it's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, I asked because he's going to get paid like an elite quarterback, right? So and I agree with everything you said, B. Like, the Chargers are like they're that one team where you can kind of go to and like kind of be the forgotten guy, right? I remember when the Chargers drafted Manti Te'o after all of that, and I was like, yo, that's the perfect spot because nobody's going to check for him there, right?
Yeah.
So that like he can go there for a little bit, all of this will blow over, and no one's going to check for him. Now it didn't really work out for him either way. It's the perfect spot for that, but he's going to get paid like an elite quarterback. He's on all the top 10 lists, in which he should be, right? I think he is a good quarter. I think he's a really, really good quarterback. He can really play. But I just question, like, he hasn't won anything, right? And Lamar has won games, right? Not only has he won regular season games, but once he gets his team there, right? The flack is, he can't win the game. He can't win the big game. He can't win the playoff. He got one playoff win, blah, blah, blah. But this kid has none. He hasn't even been to the playoffs. And he's going to get paid quite possibly more, if not the same, than Lamar. So, he's not the only one, but he's the one that comes to mind that he doesn't catch the smoke. And I kind of liken it to, an NBA, right? Like there was a year back, like I even go back to the bubble, right? That was the first year for me. I asked the same question. When does Embiid, when does Harden, when do those guys start catching flack for not producing and winning playoff games and winning championships, right? Like it gets to a point where you got to take the training wheels off of certain players. And I'm just wondering when that time comes for Herbert.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I feel like it's just not going to. Like there'll be mentions of it. There'll be one or two segments of it, and then they'll just move on. All right.
Yeah.
I wanna say really quick, Hendo, you disgust me. Don't send me garbage like that. That is okay. That is insulting.
You have to explain what you're talking about.
He sent me a trade offer that essentially for what I get from this offer is he's hoping that I'm distracted and don't read it properly and just hit accept.
Right.
And
we are talking about our Dynasty Football League
right now. Thank you, sir.
We are talking about our Dynasty Football League. As you can see, even during a live stream, it is very competitive. Yes, Davon says it right here. # no gentleman's league. That is the perfect way to describe our league. It is a savage league. It is every man for themselves. It's ruthless, but it's a lot of fun. And it's going to be a lot of great stories that came out from year one of this league. All right, Keelan says, and him throwing touchdowns to the worst receiving core, talking about Lamar, since the NFL had worked for higher players when the NFL had a lockout in the 80s, still on pace for like 24 passing touchdowns at the least. Yeah, he's got, I think, 17 now. Look, and those touchdowns are hard to come by recently, man. And it sucks because at the beginning of the year, he was on pace for 40.
Yeah, and that's the thing a lot of people don't really think about when they start analyzing Lamar, because he doesn't have the numbers, but he had 10 touchdown passes through, I believe it was 4 weeks, and then since then he's got 7 in the next 8 games. You're throwing it to Devin Duvernay and James Prochet and Tylan Wallace, and it's not good. DeMarcus Robinson, it's not good. It matters who is on the field with you. It matters a lot. Tom Brady was a good quarterback, right? I mean, even a great quarterback. They had won Super Bowls, but he never put up those kind of Peyton Manning type numbers, right? And then Randy Moss showed up, and he threw for 50 touchdowns. It matters who is on the field with you. Quarterbacks don't make receivers better. That's not a real thing. That's not what happens. What happens is, quarterbacks, they play at their level, and bad receivers. No, even Cam. He didn't make Ted Ginn better. Ted Ginn dropped a ton of passes.
He made him look better.
No, but he had to keep throwing to him. Mm-hmm. And because Cam was a great quarterback, he got a lot of great opportunities, and he caught, a Ted Ginn-ish percentage of them, right? Yeah. And that was the best season of his career. And that's what happens with bad receivers. And you say, oh, look, he made him better. No, he didn't make him better. He was just in a position where he got a lot more opportunity. And that's what I'm saying. Like Rashae Caldwell, when it was Rashae Caldwell and them boys, Tom didn't make them better.
No.
They were still those guys. And he put up his numbers because he's Tom Brady. And they put up better numbers than they normally would because they had more opportunity. But the team looked at him and they said, this isn't good enough. And they went and got Randy Moss and Wes Welker, and Tom's numbers exploded.
Look, I mean, we can use a real-time example in Tua, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up until this year, I mean, he had 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions his rookie year, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions last year. And this year, he's already got 19 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Now, what do you think happened there? Did he just the light bulb just turn on in his head? And he just stepped it up, or did his weapons get infinitely better?
Because I've seen him play, and I still see him underthrowing receivers a lot downfield.
Yeah.
But now, instead of Preston Williams letting the ball hit the ground, it's Tyreek Hill coming back, catching the ball, and turning it upfield.
Yeah. Or just, hey, I'm just going to throw it downfield, and it is impossible to overthrow him. Right? It's impossible. I'm just going to throw it, and he'll come down with it. Right?
Yeah.
We saw Lamar had that one time on one play to Deshaun Jackson. I'm going to throw this ball, and I know this guy can't be overthrown. And hit him in stride.
Do Ravens fans remember, because I do, you remember how excited you were when Rashad Bateman caught a slant and took it to the house?
I was.
You'd never seen anything like that in Baltimore. Certainly not with the players Lamar's played with.
I mean,
y'all thought Lamar was about to have 50 touchdowns.
Well, I mean, it was, look, of course they're going to forget that. That was the same game where Tyreek Hill got 300 yards in one quarter against us, right? Like, we were hyped up about Rashad Bateman, like, yeah, we got a real wide receiver over there. And 2 of them boys came out there in that second half, and he just threw it down the field. and I mean, the second touchdown that Tyreek Hill had in that quarter, in the fourth quarter, he didn't even have the ball yet, and they're all celebrating, right? The receiver's like, yes, right? Yes. He didn't even have the ball yet. He's throwing up the peace sign. He catches the ball the other hand, and it's like, see you suckers later, right? I mean, that's just a different level of wide receivers that he has there, but that's what talent can do for you. You're talking about a quarterback that me and B will argue whether or not he's a starter quality quarterback. And there's been a lot of debate amongst people about that up until this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're talking about MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the difference. Everybody knows this. Everybody understands this. Our own organization understands this. They're just being stubborn about it because they don't like our quarterback for whatever reason. They don't really have the faith in them. Get rid of him though, right? Let us get somebody like Justin Herbert in here and watch the change of philosophy all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I don't respect this Ravens organization and what they're doing right now. I don't. It's lazy, and I hope they get fired over it. Waveron says need more touchdowns in red zones. 3 drives in the red zone and no touchdowns is unacceptable. Can't make too many excuses for Lamar. Listen, don't need to make excuses. He had the team up by 7 points with less than 2 minutes left. There's no excuses for the defense. I don't want to hear about red zone. I don't want to hear about missed touchdowns when the team's up by a whole touchdown with less than 2 minutes left and all the resources are poured into the defense. The defense needs to man up, not give up a touchdown in a 2-point conversion.
And Ron, what do you need more from the offense? They scored 27 points. How many points are you expecting from an offense whose number one receiver is Demarcus Robinson? What are you realistically expecting from them? Yes, they dropped 3 touchdown passes. They scored 27 points, though. You cannot ask for more than that from a team who is missing Ronnie Stanley, who's missing J.K. Dobbins, who's missing Rashad Bateman, and who's throwing it to Pat Ricard, Demarcus Robinson, Devin Duvernay. You cannot ask for more than 27 points.
I'm glad. No, but Raven, I'm glad you put this up there, though, man. I'm glad because this is the point that we always try to make, right? Everybody's happy with the Roquan Smith trade. Everybody's happy when we draft Kyle Hamilton. Everybody's happy when we get, Patrick Queen, or we get somebody on defense. Everybody's saying, oh, man, I wish we got Sauce Gardner. Oh, we need to get a cornerback next year, right? And when we tell you, you have to abandon that train of thought, right? You don't want to hear that. But when we lose games, there's only one person that you're looking at, and it's nobody on defense.
Ron says, I expect to score in the red zone to the Jags. The Jags not a great defense. What kind of offense do you think you have, Ron? Do you think you have a good offense in Baltimore?
No.
Or do you think you have one player who is dragging 10 other guys up and down the field?
But Ron, what's your expectation for the defense? Because this from what they said, from what the front office said, from what Harbaugh said, this is a defensive team, a run-first team, a defensive team, right? Hard-nosed defense team. Why are they giving up 18 points in the fourth quarter? What's their excuse? Because I haven't heard one person say anything about this defense. That's a crappy defense that showed up on Sunday. Shout out to Money Making Mitch for a $5 donation. Says, LOL, people blaming the offense. 27 points is good enough for 90% of the defenses in the league. The Chiefs only scored 26 this last weekend. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like the excuse like for Lamar is, I mean, how many drop touchdown passes did he have? At least two or three, right?
Three.
So, I mean, I think that's your excuse for him. He can't throw it and catch it at the same time. Now, I get what you're saying, Ron. It does, like, he has to be better in the red zone, and he realizes that. But, again, like I said it on Coach's Show, we can't criticize him and not criticize the wide receivers for dropping the ball. Like, they go hand in hand, right? So, if we're going to be hard on him in the red zone, we got to be hard on those wide receivers. They have to be better down there as well. As a group, as an offense, I agree with you. They need to score as many points down there when they get there. Even though, 27 points is plenty enough, should be plenty enough against the Jaguars. But it's not a Lamar problem. It's a team problem, I feel like, when they get down in the red zone.
Yeah.
The red zone really comes down to what plays you're calling and how well you execute.
Yeah.
And those are two things that Baltimore cannot do.
Yeah. It's just not a well-coached team, right? I mean, it's just a lack of execution problem all around. And even in that game, when they're doing the silent reporter, does like the in-between quarters interviews with the coaches, they asked Harbaugh about the pre-snap penalties, and he said it. That's on us, right? We're not getting the plays in fast enough. So they're doing a terrible job just getting the plays in, right? They don't practice well. They don't execute well. That is 100% on the coaches, right? We're not going to keep just putting it on Lamar and saying Lamar gotta do everything. That's why I hope Lamar leaves at this point. I hope he leaves because I'm tired of him covering up for this. I mean, just a lazy coaching staff. They're just being lazy right now. I know they can do better than that. I'm not a big John Harbaugh fan. I know he can do better than that, right? Yeah. But there's no pressure on him, so he's just being complacent. That's laziness. I know EDC can do better than that, right? But they're just getting away with using up Lamar. I hope he leaves. I hope he makes it extremely hard, at the very least, extremely hard for them to sign him. All right. Shout out to Zaul. Zaul says they don't draft in the first round wide receivers. How do you expect to get legit wide receivers and nobody want to come play in a running first team? I don't agree with that second part. I think there were wide receivers that are willing to come play here if you pay them, but they're not willing to pay them.
Yeah. And we'll close it out with Ron's last comment here. He says, okay, if we don't have good defense, then we need to score more points. How do you expect to do that?
Yeah.
How do you expect to do that when you know your number one receiver, the only starting NFL caliber wide receiver on the team is out for the year and you trade for a middle linebacker? How do you expect them to score more points? This is our whole thing. You can't just point at Lamar and say, do more.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
How about this? If we can't score enough points, the defense has to give up less points.
Yeah.
Mind blow. Did I blow your mind there?
Right. How about they go out and actually stop somebody?
All right. OTR Mike, your final thoughts on this.
Yeah, man. It's listen. It's the same thing all the time. We as a fan base, we are caught in between the middle of it's all Lamar's fault and it's not, right? And unfortunately, it seems like more people are leaning towards that, which sucks for them, right? Being here, that's the also the point of bringing up Justin Herbert into this conversation, right? You know, he isn't doing enough. They aren't scoring enough points either, I guess. And he is an elite quarterback. Even with his top wide receiver being hurt, he still has better weapons out there overall than Lamar does. But you just don't hear this in other places, and that's the point that we making, right? We better start, right? It's the time now to we better start appreciating what we got at the quarterback position because we've seen worse, right? And all signs are pointing towards an exit right now. It just doesn't seem like. I hope that I'm wrong, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out. Just for numerous reasons, right? But you cannot put all of this on that man's shoulders, and you don't give him everything he needs to do it. If he had all the talent, right? If he had Josh Allen's talent, if he had Joe Burrow's talent, if he had Pat Mahomes' talent, if he had, you know, any of those other quarterbacks' talent, and he's not producing, then you lean on him, right?
Yep.
But right now, I think we're being a little bit unfair, and it's unfair to call those who recognize that the ones that's calling us protectors of Lamar. We just see exactly what it is. You can't produce without resources. It's just number. It's the same thing. It's just like your daily job, you
Yeah.
know.
Because I see Ron responding to the King again. Ron, don't say score more points then. Tell me how you're going to score more points. Tell me how you're going to score more points with 8 drops, 3 of them in the end zone. Tell me how you're going to score more points with your running back running for 3.3 yards per carry and fumbling the ball. Tell me how you're going to score more points with Greg Roman calling the plays for the offense. Tell me how.
It's not your excuse for Lamar. What's your excuse for defense? Because I haven't heard any reason for why the defense is playing terribly, right? You're just saying, well, the offense got to do more. No. What's your reason for the defense not doing their job? It's supposed to be on the defense. It's supposed to be. And we'll finish with this because this is an excellent stat, and we'll pick this up in overtime show. Brandon Basil says Shannon Sharp dropped this stat. 3 of 4 losses this year, the defense gave up the game-winning score with less than a minute left in the game. Explain that. Right? How's Lamar supposed to help in that situation? He gave them the lead, and they gave it right back up. They gave up 18 points in the fourth quarter. They gave up 8 points with less than 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter this past week.
And Lamar still got them into field goal range when they got the ball back.
Well, Tucker's range.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, listen, he's made a 66-yard field goal. They attempted a 67. I mean, that's not ideal, obviously, but they didn't have much time, did they?
All right, okay, we have to end it with this.
Patrick.
We got to end with this. We got a donation. Shout out to Money Making Mitch for a donation. Appreciate you. Said, dear Ravens fans, Judon, Zadarius Smith, and Yannick are all about to have double-digit sacks. Yes, for every year they've been out of Baltimore. That's how much coach is holding us back. There you go. There you have it. All right, man. We are dangerously close to 2 hours. This is supposed to be an hour-long show, but we have so much fun with you guys, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Still 90 people in here, man. Hey, our audience is growing. Hit that like button. And if you're new, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to keep hanging out with us, we're not leaving. We're just going to the overtime show. We're just changing the venues for our party. Okay, the overtime show is starting up in a few minutes. Patreon.com/LBHT Show is how you can be a part of that. All right. All right. B, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Patrons, give us a couple minutes. We're going to fire up the overtime show. Everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do this every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. And also you can catch us on Mondays on Coach's channel, Sip 2 Tally Films for the Ravens Roundtable. All right. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we will see you next time. Peace.